Austin police!
Do I stop?
Hey, what?
I don't know what happened. I just walked in on her.
There's a shell casing right here next to my right knee.
There's another one right here. We got 3 shell casings.
Silver renegade.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I have shot. Nobody heard any shots? We don't know how long she's been down? No.
Is this my boyfriend? No. She doesn't live here.
What's her name?
Her name is Mariah. Mariah is her middle name. Her first name is Anna.
She said she's from San Francisco?
Well, she's from Vermont, but she's living in San Francisco.
And she came to visit you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's here for a bike race this weekend.
Do you know if she's talking to anyone or any friends? I know you say you don't live here.
And she was with her friend Colin.
Colin?
Yeah, Colin Strickland.
That's her bike.
Cover?
Yeah.
So where would the bike be? Where would she keep her bike?
I mean, it would be right inside the door.
Is there a bike?
1708.
Anywhere? You see a bike? She said she would put it right by the door. No bike. Hey, come here. Somebody might be in here. This might be the bike, okay? Over there. Airport 32, I located the bike.
And that's not the only thing detectives find. Cameras on nearby homes capture what could be key evidence that only adds to the mystery of the case.
One of the things that they do look for are patterns. Are there people loitering outside in and around the time of the crime? Are there vehicles making multiple trips in and around the scene of the crime? And what they ultimately did see was an SUV circling the neighborhood.
There's a dark-colored SUV with a bike rack on the back. Unfortunately, they can't get a license plate from the vehicle because the bike rack's in the way. But it's right close to the crime scene, and throughout that day, it drives by there several times. More and more evidence is being discovered. They realize there's a gentleman close by that has Ring doorbell. The footage may be one of the most chilling Ring doorbell footages I've ever watched in my life. You actually hear some type of altercation followed by 3 gunshots.
With Mo being from out of town, she has few connections in Austin, which at first leaves police at a loss for possible leads. That is until Caitlin Cash gives police a name, a man Mo has been growing closer to in recent months.
Did her and Collins have an argument at all, do you know?
I don't have any idea.
Do you know
only thing I know is she said I'm meeting him to go swimming.
Okay. All right, and what time was that?
5.
5 p.m. today?
Yeah.
Police tracked down 35-year-old Colin Strickland the next morning to see if he could potentially be involved.
Colin? Yes. Person? Yeah. Do you know Anna? Mo. Anna, Mo. Yeah, everybody calls her Mo. Last name's Wilson. Rider, she's a gravel rider. Yes, I do. There's really no reason to say this, so apparently last night she passed away. How did? And right now it's an open investigation, but it is being investigated as a homicide. Okay.
Strickland offers up what he says was his last interaction with Mo the previous night, shortly before she was killed.
We went to Deep Eddy yesterday afternoon, and then we heard her, and I dropped her at the apartment she's been staying at. Yeah. Friend Pat.
Colin goes to drop Mo off. She goes to the door. She knows the PIN code on the door handle to be able to get in. Goes inside, and that's where things take a turn for the worse.
There's other evidence to suggest that she was being followed. There was actually CCTV footage, and it demonstrates Colin driving away on his motorcycle.
Police noticed several cars in Strickland's driveway, including one that looks very familiar.
When police go to talk to Mr. Strickland, they kind of take an inventory of vehicles that are there. That's incredibly normal. You take the plates, you run the plates. They found BMW, Mercedes, Jeep. He does say that the 2012 Jeep Cherokee that's there is not his vehicle.
They're thinking in their minds, okay, we've got this kind of nondescript, dark-colored SUV that we saw on CCTV. Could this be the same vehicle?
Law enforcement asks, well, whose SUV is that? And he says, well, that's my roommate, who's my on and off again girlfriend. Caitlin Armstrong's.
Strickland volunteers to speak with investigators more at the police station, where they learn quite a bit about his relationship with then 34-year-old Caitlin Armstrong.
Has Caitlin ever gotten so mad in the past that, not necessarily thinking that she would do anything, you know, but I mean, has she ever threatened anything, or?
She's always seemed like such a mild, gentle person.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can say. It doesn't make sense, but it'd be very disturbing.
Colin Strickland, great cyclist, meets Caitlin Armstrong in that tight-knit community. They start a relationship, they move in together, and it's kind of this on and off relationship for about 3 years. They even start a business together where they're restoring trailers, things like that. When they are broken up, Colin Strickland meets Mo Wilson, and they really hit it off.
Colin and Mo had a casual romantic relationship, really for about a month or two, but then that seemingly kind of fizzled out. And part of why that fizzled out is because Mr. Strickland's girlfriend, Caitlin Armstrong, Mo Wilson was dating Colin, who Caitlin claimed to be her current boyfriend, but what he claimed to be is that they were on a break.
So as law enforcement continues their questioning of Colin Strickland, and they ask him, do you own any firearms? He comes right out and says, yeah, I'd purchased 2 handguns in the past.
Austin Police Department came with a search warrant of his home. They did find 2 9mm handguns.
He was very forthcoming. He said, actually, I purchased 2 just a while back. Really? You did? As a matter of fact, I bought one for my girlfriend, Caitlin Armstrong. And not only that, both he and she had gone to the firing range in order to practice. The police at that point in time knew that they were onto something.
When detectives discover there's an existing active warrant for Armstrong on an unrelated charge, they track her down.
You're here for a warrant right now, I guess. Are you familiar with what you have going on with that?
I have no idea.
Okay, so I guess it was like a theft of service warrant, something kind of minor. Nothing. Okay.
Can you give me any information on what you're talking about?
As far as the warrant or as far as everything else?
As far as the warrant.
Yeah, so I don't know too much. I guess it's just a theft of service. Usually that's like something like didn't pay for something pretty minor.
Can you tell me what it was that was the theft of service?
I can look. I'm not sure what it is at this point. But because you are here and because you were under arrest for that portion of it, we always have to read Miranda and stuff because I want to talk to you about some other stuff that's unrelated to that. The reason I'm here is because your name came up during a conversation with Colin. I think there's a lot more information that you have that can kind of explain some of the stuff he's saying.
I've never heard of this warrant before. I don't know what you're talking about.
Apparently that warrant, the date of birth was wrong. So it had your name, but the date of birth is wrong, so it's to a different person. So that's not, you're not under arrest, okay?
Okay.
I know, it's a little crazy.
They just came to my house and put me in handcuffs for no reason.
So there was a warrant that they thought was you. Apparently the date of birth was off. So this is going to be consensual at this point because you're not under arrest. The door is unlocked, you can leave at any time. So
I would love to leave. Do I need an attorney here?
I would really like to talk to you and clear some stuff up because Colin did bring your name up, and I think there's a lot more information that you have that can kind of clear some stuff up. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I feel like I should have an attorney present.
So that's totally your choice. You would love to
just arrested me in front of my house, in front of all of my neighbors, and carried me in here in handcuffs in front of downtown Austin. It was incredibly humiliating.
Imagine. And I'm so sorry. I don't have control over that part, okay? So let me kind of explain some stuff. Did you hear about what's happened over the past 24 hours?
Colin walked in the house and said one of the women in the cycling community passed away.
Yes, yeah. While Colin was talking to us, your name came up. And it sounds like there's a lot of stuff that's going on, and it sounds like, you know, Colin's been maybe talking to this girl for a little bit and kind of threw your name in there. I think you might be saying some stuff, and I want to get your side of it, okay? Because there's always 2 parts of it. He's got a very different version of everything that's going on. And so when we only hear one side, it only gives us one side to work with. It sounds like there was some issues between you and this girl, and I think that there's probably a lot more to it that you could help explain.
Okay, I'm not sure exactly what you mean or what information you'd like.
It sounds like maybe he went out with this girl the other day, and maybe it sounds like from what he's saying that you were a little upset about it.
That is not accurate.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to chat with you, because it's a guy. He's gonna say stuff. And so we want to make sure that we get both sides of the story and everything and clear it up. What were you doing yesterday?
I would like to leave, I think.
That's completely your choice, but understand if you do, then we only have one side of the story to go on.
I just am uncertain as to even what you mean or what he could have said, because I didn't have any idea that he saw or went out with this girl.
Has he been like talking to her
I would
on
like
the
to
side?
leave. I don't actually know, and I would like to leave.
Your vehicle was seen next to her house when he's saying this stuff, and then your vehicle is seen. Like, I want to be able to explain, okay, there's a logical explanation for this. Maybe you were upset and you were just in the area or something. Like, I don't know, because I don't have your story. When I can't explain that, and all I see is that your vehicle's over there, that kind of makes it look not too good, right? When we're talking to Colin and we're hearing like, yeah, there was some jealousy stuff going on, like, that doesn't sound very good.
I would like to leave if I'm free to leave.
Okay. Is there any explanation as far as why the vehicle would be over there?
I would like to leave if I'm free to leave.
Okay.
Caitlin Armstrong decides that it's time to sell the Jeep. So she goes to a car dealership, sells the Jeep. She then boards a flight up to New York, flies into there where her sister lives close by, and is there at her sister's house a short time.
The thing that came into most handy in terms of looking for her was the airport surveillance video of her sort of with her yoga mat going through security at the Austin airport. They knew that she went from Austin to LaGuardia because that was all in her name. When she left, they were able to track her name on that flight. It's there that the case sort of went cold.
Law enforcement reaches out to the sister, and come to find out, sister's passport is missing. So that gives law enforcement the opportunity to say, oh my gosh, we've checked flight logs under Caitlin Armstrong. We need to see if the sister's name has been used.
It was in the realm of possibility that she would have fled the country. And so at that point, they put out an international alert about her rather than just simply a domestic alert.
They look at flight logs under the sister's name, and lo and behold, guess where it is? Costa Rica. Law enforcement solicit the help of the United States Marshal Service. That is their bread and butter, tracking down fugitives, and this is a very heavily tourist area, which makes it very difficult for them. But they start looking into hostels. Caitlin Armstrong was an avid yoga instructor, and so they thought maybe she's down there teaching yoga. And in one last-ditch effort, they decide they're going to put a Facebook ad out saying that a hostel is looking for a yoga instructor.
The very astute hostel stayer actually befriended her and then started realizing that this could be her. She responded to the ad, but the people waiting for her was law enforcement.
Caitlin Armstrong was captured on June 29th by foreign officials in the Republic of Costa Rica, where she was detained on an immigration violation and deported back to the United States.
Law enforcement starts diving into the forensic evidence, cell phone data. What we start to see is that Caitlin Armstrong, because of her business relationship with Colin Strickland, she's actually able to go in and read his text messages, see who he's calling, read his emails. It was during that time that Caitlin Armstrong starts to have her suspicions on Strickland's relationship with Mo Wilson.
Caitlin Armstrong is charged with murder. After days of testimony from over 40 witnesses, the case is handed off to the jury, and after 2 hours of deliberations, they return with their verdict.
The defendant will please rise. The State of Texas versus Caitlin Armstrong. Verdict of the jury. We, the jury, find the defendant, Caitlin Armstrong, guilty of the offense of murder as alleged in the indictment.